Minasan, konnichiwa. Jamie here. And a while ago on the bachiDZuke forums, Nathan asked a question about practice. And he was wondering, what sorts of things people did when they practices, if they have regimens, things like that. And Jerry and Kevin gave some really good advice. So I thought I might want to add a little bit and share some of what I do to warm up. I'm not a teacher, so if you disagree with anything that I'm saying, feel free. If you like something, feel free to use it in your own practice. If you don't, forget about it. If you hate it, just, criticize me a lot. That's fine. But yeah, so this is basically what I do when I warm up. Just going to go through my warm-up regimen, what I usually do. Let's first make sure I'm in tune here. Let's see. A little low. I really like these clip-on tuners because it doesn't matter if there's extra noise in the background. I can still keep talking. That's good. Alright, good with that. So usually what I do first, like a warm-up, is just to get you warmed up, is to get you ready to play. So I go through a few exercises, mostly basic stuff, just to get my muscles warmed up and ready to play. And practice for sports, like say American football, you do I do some things that, don't necessarily appear in actual pieces. So like in football, you do a lot of, you can like run through tires and things like that. And you're not going to do that in a game, but you assume that the agility that you get from that will help you out in an actual game. So in the same way, some of the things that I do when I'm practicing may seem a little strange, but hopefully they help out with my actual playing. So usually I start off just with basic bachiDZuke. So let's see. Oh, and don't worry about making mistakes when you warm up. You're really just getting ready. You get all your mistakes out of the way during the warm-up so that you don't have to worry about it when you're actually playing, hopefully. So yeah, just bachiDZuke to get my right hand and things. And I usually do bachiDZuke a few times to get myself feeling comfortable. And after doing bachiDZuke, I usually go into just practicing the basic jonkara rhythm, like my bachi, 1, 2, and then the ushiro bachi. Well, I guess one and my bachi 1 and ushiro bachi 2 and. So it usually goes something like this. And then I'll switch strings, so I get used to playing on all the strings and I know where they are. And doing that, going from string to string on the same basic rhythm will help you get used to where the strings are. I know that when you're first starting out, it can be really difficult to know where you're hitting. You're always going to be watching your hand, and especially that middle string is really scary. But just doing that will get you familiar with the placement. And then usually what I do after doing that for a while is try bigger gaps. If you get into a pattern, you get used to that pattern. So you want to try to change it up a little bit. So sometimes then I'll do going from 3 no ito to 1 no ito and then back so I get used to a bigger jump. And then throwing the 2 no ito in there every once in a while. So. that, doing different patterns, and then I'll get into. And you don't have to worry about speed. I'm going a little bit fast right now, but usually I start slower, get used to that speed, and then speed up gradually. And then after doing those jumps, then I'll do some. I'll mix up the pattern a little bit by not just doing a full measure on one string, but mixing the strings. So maybe I'll do mai in the front, and then go to the ni no ito for the back, and do that a few times, and then change that up again. And the purpose of that is basically just get you used to going anywhere on the strings at any time during the pattern, so that you don't get too caught up. Nothing really will confuse you. And then I'll do even more intricate stuff, going like san ni ichi ni san, like. Changing where I start in the pattern. So with that one, at the start of it, I was doing mai on the san, ushiro on the ni, and then mai on the ichi. And then you should do the reverse of that too. So I did ushiro on the san, mai on the ni, and ushiro on the ichi. So like that. And then usually after doing the right hand for a little while and all those bachTSuke stuff, I'll warm up my left hand. And you know, Shamisen has a lot of those intricate fingerings. So what I do for this is usually I'll take a part of rokudan, sort of the end of each of the dan, each of the parts where, you know, it goes. So I'll take that part and do just, and I'll change that up a little bit. So I'll do it on the san no ito, then the ni, then the ichi. Again, because you want to be able to do the same sort of techniques on any string. And it'll also get you used to doing those on the different strings because they each have a different character. The ichi no ito being as thick as it is, you know, is harder to move around, so you need a different kind of touch from the san no ito and the ni no ito. And again, don't worry about speed. I usually start slow and work up. So basically what I do. Sorry, let me do that again. My computer kind of blacked out, so I'm going to just do that so I can see again. And after doing that for a little while, then I'll just go into doing the 4-3-0-0 pattern over and over again to get my fingers loosened up. And when you're doing this, especially if you're going at a faster speed, you'll feel yourself start to tense up, especially in the left hand. It'll start getting really stiff. But in doing, the purpose of this drill is to help you overcome that. Like, as you feel yourself tensing up, you want to resist that urge. You want to try to loosen up as best as possible. Because tensing up, you'll get more tired, you won't be able to keep up your speed, you'll drain yourself out. But if you can learn to sort of deal with that feeling, overcome it, loosen up when you feel that coming on, you can keep going and your speed will actually be a lot better. You want to stay as loose as possible. And this drill is a really good way to get yourself familiar with how that tense feeling feels so that you can hopefully overcome it later. So you can start slow. Usually what I'll do is a kind of pattern where I'll do 4 of those on the san no ito, then switch to the ni no ito, then switch to the ichi no ito, come back to the ni, and do that and gradually increase the pace at which I switch strings. So it'll be then to the ni, on the ichi, then back to the ni, and then to the san, and then maybe here is when I'll start doing less of those. So just 2 instead of 4. And then just 1. And then eventually I'll break out of the pattern. And end that there. And if you ever get tired, just shake out your wrist a little bit. I stretch later. And then after doing that slow, you can try to work up your speed quick. And that's usually the faster you go, the faster you'll feel that tenseness coming on. So. So just stay loose. I was making some mistakes there, but you're just trying to warm up your fingers so that when you play your actual pieces later, you'll be ready to go. And so that's sort of the main parts of my warm-up. I feel like I've warmed up my right hand and my left hand. And then sometimes after doing that, then I'll work on whatever kind of technique is bothering me at the time. So right now, for example, what's really bothering me are those quick, I think you could call them 16th notes, although it depends on how you're notating the music. But in parts like Rokudan, in pieces like Rokudan, say, and then here. So you can see that's bothering me. It's supposed to be a one-y end, but I tend to just give it there. So I'll practice that a bunch. Just do it a whole lot. And other parts where that same technique comes up, again in Rokudan, there's a part where so I'll keep doing that, trying to get that down. Let's see, what else? In a similar way, there are a lot of pieces where you're going to give a strong strike on the ichi no ito, and then jump right to the san no ito, do the same thing. So, for example, in Jon Karabushi, the song, like the folk song version, there is, let's see. So I'll work on that part a lot, just repeating it over and over and over again. that kind of thing. Lastly, I forgot about this. One of the things that my teacher told me was a good warm-up is playing, in order to increase your speed and precision with the bachi hand, trying to play a sequence of 3. So it'll sound like 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So basically slowly, it'll be... Basically, you're trying to get a clear strike with each one. You want to avoid... You want to avoid catching it on your upstroke. You're basically working on your precision. Being able to do that downstroke when you want, and the upstroke when you want, but not mix the two when you don't. And the faster you get, the more difficult it gets. And again, that's when you feel that tenseness on your right hand, so you want to just keep... You want to try to keep loose even when you feel it coming. And so faster, let's see if I can do it. And just doing that a lot. The ichi-no-ito is the hardest to get that without any extra strikes, extra noise in there. And yeah, that's basically my warm-up. This video turned out pretty long with all the talking. Usually it'll take me at least 5 minutes, sometimes up to 10, depending on how much I want, or how long I want to keep going, how much I want to work on certain stuff. And then after I warm up, I'll stretch out my wrist and my hands a bit, and then I'll start playing the pieces that I actually am working on at the time. So thank you for watching. I don't know if you made it all the way this far, but I hope it was helpful, and yeah, feel free to ask me any questions, or feel free to ask questions of people who are professional shamisen musicians, because I'm not. And good luck on your practicing. 頑張ってね.